hats at work.
Okay. It's actually still good morning.
And it's interesting how
Good day, everybody.
what's considered controversial.
Good day. It's hard to get to stop having a great conversation.
Am I blocking you,
We're going to
Terry?
get started. I know we're still waiting for a couple more folks, but I'm so glad you all joined us, and I want to just first acknowledge the city of Temple City for being an amazing partner to the chamber, but moreover, having this great community space. I work in a lot of communities, and Temple City's the best. It's always great to be with here. So thank you to our members of the City Council and to our city administrators for letting us use this space and being such a great partner. Today, I just also want to acknowledge Ahi Poki in the back. Thanks, guys, so much for the audience. We've gotten the most positive feedbacks from the appearance of today's lunch than any other lunch we've had. Just, it looks great, and then people are talking about how great it is. And for those who don't know, Ahi Poki started here about 10 years ago in Temple City. First location. Now they have more than 30 across the state. Yeah, it's very exciting. And so, things are born in Temple City, right? Ahi Poki, Winchell's Donuts. What else? Was it Winchell's? Winchell's? Yeah, Winchell's started here. Really? The guy who invented Jelly Bellies is living here, I think. And then
Wait, he's from Covina.
I thought it was from here.
No, he lived here. He lived there when he invented jelly.
Yeah, thank you. You know.
I know.
You know. I love that. I like businesses so we can anyway.
She's a historian.
So I also want to acknowledge our sponsors, TransTech and Athens Services, for supporting our monthly program of leaders and legislators coming in and giving us the updates that are necessary. So with that, I'd like to start with a round of self-introductions, then I'll get to introduce our speaker. We're going to skip our speaker and go straight to someone chewing.
Yes, sorry. Good bite. Hi, everybody. I'm Susanna Cameron. I'm the Public Information Officer for Temple City Unified School District. I'm very happy to be here to support our awesome superintendent.
I'm Mary Sweet, a board member. Yeah.
I am Matt Smith. I'm also with the school district on the school board.
I'm Maria Garner, and I'm the council PTA, and we partner with our superintendent, our amazing superintendent. We love him.
I love that story. All right, Tammy, what are you going to say?
I love it too. I'm Tammy Silver, a trustee of Pasadena City College.
Hi everyone, Tim Lee, Government Affairs Manager with Athens Services.
Hi everyone, Emily Garcia with the Temple City Chamber. Nice to see you.
Hello, my name is Joanne Cervantes. I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. I also live in Temple City.
Candy McKernan, represent Temple City Bike Shop and Women's Club today.
And I'm Donna Giorgino. I'm on the school board for the Temple City Unified School District. And I don't want to be left out. I love art too.
Hi everyone, I'm William Mann. I'm the Mayor Pro Tem for Temple City, and we also live.
Hi everyone. It's my first time with the chamber, but I'm Alexis Silva. I am a public affairs assistant for the Upper San Gabriel Valley Municipal Water District.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, Tom Chavez, council member for City of Temple City, and I don't love you. But I do respect you. Now, I like you an awful lot. Okay. Brian Cook with the City of Temple City.
Senator Perez office. Hi, I'm Fiona. I'm from Assemblymember Mike Fong's office, and I recently moved to Temple City.
Hello, everyone. Carla Aguilar with the Temple City Chamber.
Hi, Stefan. Here in replacement or substitution for my wife, Amy, who's the owner of the Fairfield Inn in Rosemead, but we're residents of Temple City.
All right.
Great.
I'm Jimmy Tram with EXP Realty. I sit on the board for the Temple City Chamber of Commerce. I also serve as their vice president.
And I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm just John. I'm the CEO of the Temple City Chamber. I think a lot of you have been here before. Oh, Jerry.
Jerry Jambazian, business owner in Temple City for 70 years, photographer for the city and the school district, and Chamber of Commerce president 50 years ago.
50 years ago?
50.
Wow.
1975.
Wow. We need to.
That was a
Donna,
good
we should
year.
do something. We should do something.
I know. Jerry, you could come to my high school reunion. It's this year, 50 years.
Really? All right, we'll follow up on that after today. But for those who are joining us for the first time, or maybe it's been a while, every month we come together as a civic and community leaders to get together to talk about important issues that are facing our community, how we can collaborate, make those connections so that we're a stronger, more successful community. And today is no exception as we bring the leader of our Unified School District to come to speak with us and give us an update about his leadership role and what the school district is planning and doing in the coming year and what they've done recently in success. So you've already heard the Love Fest begin, but Dr. Art Cunha has been superintendent for almost 3 years now, if I do my math correctly, of the Temple City Unified School District, but has more than 2 decades of educational leadership experience, leading efforts to create inclusive student-centered learning environments and collaborative working environments. He's all about hands-on leadership. He has a doctorate in education leadership from USC, and he began his career at the Baldwin Park Unified School District, including on campus as an assistant principal, a principal, and assistant director. He also was the former chief academic administration officer at the LA County Office of Education, where he supported multiple school districts to develop innovative academic programs. There's a typo here, my fault. Let me tell you, the first time I met Art, this is better, it's personal. I went into his office and he's like, I want to do all this stuff. And I said, okay, we can do it. I said, yes, we'll do all of it. And then we started doing something, and it's not exactly what he wanted, but we're doing a lot of stuff in partnership. The Chamber and the school district are working on a workforce development program that's about a year and change old. We've had a lot of success. We've had a lot of learning. I know a number of you in this room are a part of that effort where it brings business community and the education at the school district, and also we're starting to talk to the community college district, and creating that connection about careers and pathways for what the new economy is going to be. And I say new because it's always different. What's happening now will change in the future around business. And so how do we prepare our students? How do we provide opportunities for our students as they become leaders in their community, whether it's here in Temple City, San Gabriel Valley, or beyond? We're really beginning to develop that. And it's only because of the partnership with the school district that the Chamber's been able to do that. So really honored to introduce to you your superintendent for the Temple City Unified School District, Dr. Art Cunha.
All right, well, thank you, John, for the introduction, for the invite, for lunch, and most importantly, for moving it into this room. I really thought I was going to get burned outside. I lack the hair to protect myself. So, I've had the good fortune of being able to come to these events for the last couple of years. And when John introduced the legislative lunch opportunity, it's something that I got really excited about. It is an opportunity for us as a school district to hear from legislators, to understand what direction they're going to be taking, but also for us to be able to share some concerns we may have, ask questions, and there is an intersection between politics and schools that probably was not there previously. And I think I was a little naive to that when I got into education, but probably because of the fact that, it was based off of my upbringing, right? So for those of you who are my age or older, if you think back to your schooling, you probably don't recall having to do state standardized testing. You don't recall school accountability report cards being posted in newspapers or shared on the news. Graduation requirements were probably quite simple. It didn't matter where you were going to go to school, whether it was a 2-year or 4-year, CSU, UC. Graduation requirements were the same for everybody. And so things have changed dramatically, probably back in 1996, the state introduced state standardized testing. And it's something that I don't disagree with. It was an opportunity for every child to take the same test in all of our schools to measure progress and to know what schools were doing, how students were learning. And they took this information and a couple of years later, they affixed a score to the information. And that was probably around 1998, 1999, the API came in, and that was the Academic Performance Index. And at that point in time, there were some schools that were very happy with their scores and some that were not very happy. The funny thing about it is that initial test was a norm reference test. And so I will not turn this into a math lesson, but a norm reference test means that the participants are plotted on a bell curve. And there's a line down the middle. And 50% of your participants have to be on the left-hand side, and 50% of your participants have to be on the right-hand side. So there was no way for every participant to be on the right-hand side of the bell curve because it was a norm reference test. And so a lot of people thought at the time states were setting schools up for failure. And so over the years, the last 30 years, the test has changed. The accountability piece has changed. The numbers have turned into bar graphs, which have turned into colors. But at the end of the day, there are still accountability pieces that are reported in the news. And when these things got reported, there was a lot of interest from our political leaders on what is happening within our school districts. There were equity issues that were being discussed. There were questions about why certain schools had certain programs and others did not. How do we make things fair for our students across the board? And so schools really turned into political playgrounds, a lot more so than they were in the past. And I hate to say it, and President Company excluded, but sometimes the politicians are the bullies on those playgrounds, right? And we have great support from Mike Vaughn and great support from Sasha and everything else, but there are politicians that they can be bullies. There are a lot of mandates, there's legislation, there are edicts, there are expectations that come down politically. A lot of the time, those expectations come with very little to no resources and able to implement what is coming our way. There are people that make rules or changes that don't understand the impact that it's going to have on a student or on a school district's daily operations. And again, this is not unique to the school district. I know everybody in this room has been impacted in some way or another by legislation that has come down from the state or federal government. So whether that be a minimum wage law that was passed, whether it be something regarding health and welfare benefits, I know everybody in this room has had an impact or has been affected by legislation from our state and federal government. I feel like we are in a little better position to weather the storm at times. Our district, like all districts in California, are funded on an ADA basis, which is average daily attendance. Most often you will hear about enrollment as being a factor for school districts. So you'll hear in the news that schools are declining in enrollment, which leads to school closures or layoffs. Fortunately for us, last 2 years we've actually increased in our enrollment. This year, if numbers hold true, we will either sustain our enrollment from last year or increase again. And these are things that don't happen by accident. There are fewer and fewer people having babies. The birth rate has decreased year after year. So for us to have an increase in enrollment, it means we're doing something right. And this is where I thank our Board of Education, because the board creates the vision and the plan. We as staff implement that plan. So when a school board loses sight of their role and they don't keep students at the center of their decision-making process, it's bad for the community, it's bad for the school district, and it's bad for students. Unfortunately, I've been part of districts before where members have lost sight of their role, and it was damaging to the community. It takes a long time to repair that damage. So to have a school board who understands their role and creates opportunities for students, I'm appreciative of that, and I think the community should be appreciative of that. We also understand our role within the community. We've had this conversation before. As a school district, we want to be good neighbors. Again, not unique to Temple City, but quite often a school district may be the largest landowner within a community. Quite often they may be the largest employer within a community. We understand our role. We know what we bring to the community. So if our schools look good, if our programs are good, then we attract people to our community, which is why our enrollment is probably increasing. But what that does for our neighbors is hopefully it increases property values. It's very difficult to get into a school district if you are not a resident of that school district. You have to go through a permitting process and waivers and all of this to try and come to a school that you do not live in their residence. And so, or their boundaries. And so, with that being said, we try very hard to make sure that our schools look good, that we add value to our community, and I think we're doing a good job of that as well. The other thing is, and I know you all know this, but I think it's sometimes good to hear, we have a significant influence and impact over the lives of your children. If you actually think about it, your kids come to us from the age of 4 to 18. If you factor in preschool, it's 3 years old. Now we have them from 3 to 18. Before school care, after school care, summer school, adult education. We have kids that we have until 23. So we spend a lot of time with our students. And so when we create these opportunities for them, and we talk about what we're going to do, it's really about cultivating these young adults who are going to be productive members of society when they leave us. And so our programs are excellent programs. We do our best to expand, adapt to changes based off of the needs of our business and industry. John touched on it a little bit. We don't know what's going to be happening in the future, but we have to be able to adapt. I would go a little bit more into what programs we have to offer, but because this is the legislative lunch, I really want to give you a little bit of insight as to what or how legislation impacts us on a daily basis. And so I'm going to start with the federal government. Right now, if you turn on the news, you'll hear about things that will have an impact on us as a school district. First thing is, you'll hear about ICE raids. Whether or not those raids are within our community, surrounding our community, or just happening in general, they've created a fear among families. And those families, we don't know whether or not they're going to feel safe enough to send their kids to school come August 13th when we open our doors again. If they do not, the easy thing, which I shared with you before, the funding impact, we are funded on an ADA basis. So if students are enrolled and they do not show up to school, we lose funding as a result of that. But more detrimental is we have students that are going to miss out on learning. And we have students who are coming just a few years out of a pandemic who have learning loss. And now they're not going to be in school come August, that loss is going to be magnified. And learning recovery takes far longer than learning loss to happen. So it is critical for our students to be in school. And I hope that families feel safe enough come August 13th to be able to send their kids to school. Another impact at the federal government level, if you've heard, right now the federal government has frozen funds that were promised to school districts. You'll also hear that federal dollars are an insignificant amount of the overall budget of a school district. Theoretically, it's true. 8 to 10% of our budget comes from federal dollars. But I ask you this, as business leaders, if I took 8 to 10% of your revenue from you, and you still had the same expenses and same expectations to meet, would it impact you? Maybe not immediately, but it would eventually. And at the very least, it's going to eat your reserves. But this is what we're faced with right now from the federal government with these freezing of our funds. But it's not just us, right? The state also receives funds from the federal government. And as those funds are frozen, the state then needs to reprioritize their expenses. So if they choose to prioritize one expense over another, they're going to have to cut from somewhere else. Where do those cuts come from? We don't know. They may come from education. And that's something that we're going to have to deal with as well. And so right now, the federal government, there's just a lot of uncertainty with the federal government. State government, I wish it was better, but it's not much better. If you remember last year, the state government was sued by California School Boards Association because the governor was trying to these sneaky kind of maneuvers to lessen the amount of money that was going to education. As a result, he ended up having to give us the money that was promised to us and we were entitled to as part of that legal battle. This year, there's talk of another suit against the governor because he is again pulling monies from the school system, which he is not able to do legally. Right now, we're faced with deferrals from the state government. So they've told us, we're going to give you this money, we just don't know when we're going to give it to you. The last time we had deferrals, it took years for us to get the money back from the state that was owed to us. But in the meantime, we still have the same expenses, we still have the same expectations, and what we're forced to do is then go to the state or other agencies, borrow money to maintain our operations, pay interest on the money that we borrow, sometimes to the state, based on the fact that they didn't give us the money that they were supposed to give us originally. So those are some state challenges, but the biggest state challenge, and I'm glad we have legislators in here to hear this, is it's the budget timeline. So I'm going to give you a little insight as to how a school district budget operation is the timelines. So in January, the schools get a proposed budget from the governor's office. We start to create our plan for the budget going forward. In May, we get a revised budget from the governor. Generally, that number is lower. I rarely see it higher, but generally it's lower, so we have to make revisions to our budget. The problem we have versus private industry is when private industry has a decrease in revenue, you can almost immediately cut your expenses. We don't have that same luxury. So by law, we cannot reduce staff, which is the largest expense for a school district, unless we notify them in May that there is a potential for layoffs. If we do not notify them in March. We notify them in March. If we do not notify them in March, we have to wait until the following school year in June to be able to lay off staff. Now, again, January is the proposed budget, May is the revised budget. So March falls right in the middle of that. So now I have to give teachers pink slips, letting them know that there's a potential for layoffs based off of what we don't know is going to happen in May. Now they go into the classrooms, worried about their livelihood, worried about whether or not they're going to have a job. And for all of us in this room, there are personal things that affect us in our professional life as well. And our teachers are no different. These are things that they worry about as they enter the classroom. So May comes, we revise our budget. June 15th, we propose our budget to the board, we adopt a budget, and we send it to the County Office of Education on June 15th. That's a requirement for us. June 30th, the legislator adopts the state budget. So between June 15th and June 30th, if anything happens in that time frame, we're on the hook for that as well. We now we have less revenue coming in and still the same expenses that we're expected to maintain. So an easy fix, in my opinion, if the bulk of our money comes from the state, why not have our budgets adopted after the state budget so we know what we're actually working with? Every year it's the same thing. Budget, change, budget, no change, and then deal with the real budget. So that is a challenge we face from the state level each and every year. Local government, far better relationship. I want to thank our voters for passing Proposition 28. Proposition 28 was something that voters approved to increase and improve arts education in classrooms. We already had an excellent arts education program within Temple City, but what it did is it allowed us to expand the program and really build for the future and sustain our programs as students went into the high school. So right now, because of Prop 28 funds, each and every one of our elementary kids is exposed to the arts, whether that be dance, music, theater, fine arts. They have the ability and they are exposed each day to something within the arts. And it's obviously it's a great opportunity for kids to hone a skill that maybe they didn't know they had. But the bigger part is we feel like the arts really lends itself to a more positive mental health outlook for students. They are engaged in something that they may not have otherwise been engaged in, and they get to be part of groups that they may not have had the opportunity to be part of before. So we appreciate that part of it. The other thing that I want to thank our voters for is the local bond measure that was passed in 2012. Measure S. If we did not have Measure S, we would not have been able to improve some of our school sites. We would not have been able to complete this project that we're completing on Temple City Boulevard and Camino Real, which is our new sports activity complex area, which I think is a beautiful addition to the community. And I hope that when the community sees this, they see value. They see a return on their investment, because that's really what it is. They've given us the opportunity to take tax dollars and do something with it, but they have to trust us in what we do. So hopefully we've built that trust. Hopefully people see their return on their investment, because I hate to say it, we're going to have to go back to the community again. We have reached the end of the line with where we are on being able to draw from Measure S funds at this point in time, but we still have needs at our school sites. And we do not receive state or federal dollars to be able to keep our schools, our school campuses safe, modern, up to date, and viable for the future. So this really is something that we rely on the community support for. John mentioned, I want to thank the Chamber. Our Professional Pathways program, partnership program, is something that allows all of our business leaders to be able to see and work with some of our students in our schools and see the talent that we're producing at Temple City, as well as giving our students the opportunity to be part of the regular, workforce and maybe hone some of those soft skills that they need when they enter the workforce. And so that opportunity has been something that we look forward to expanding upon. I want to thank our city and sheriffs, because our sheriffs keep the schools safe for our students, but our city, and Tom, you've mentioned this numerous times, the value, acknowledging and recognizing the value that the district brings to the community. But it's not just that. You also make sure that our students are part of the fabric of the community. And whether that's through, participating in Camellia Festival or Miss Temple City or the Lights on Temple City or the 100-year anniversary, or even painting the utility boxes within the city. I am so, when I drive by and see our students painting the utility boxes, I'm proud. like this is something that they are giving back to the community that they are part of. So we cannot do this without the partnerships that we have. We thank you for your support. We look forward to continuing to being good neighbors. And with that, I will close and answer any questions you may have.
What questions do we have? Before you got here, Becky just joined us from Athens Services, sponsor for today, one of our sponsors. There was a love fest earlier. Everyone was like, "Oh, we love our."
Love our what? Our drivers?
Love our superintendent.
What questions do you have? Maybe more pointedly than just the love fest. What do we think? Questions? Yes, Tammy.
I have a tangential question as you were talking about state legislation, and I remember Anthony Portantino got a bill passed that created an 8:30 a.m. start time or later. How has that worked for the high school?
So it's an interesting comment, Tammy. The ideal behind the start time was good. The reality of a later start time, not quite the same. Parents still have to go to work. So what ended up happening is students were getting dropped off and being left at school unattended because parents were having to go to work. So nobody changed the start time for parents. And I understand the reasoning behind it, but again, this is a piece of legislation that they didn't really take into consideration the impact that it was going to have. So that's a challenge.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Oh, Jared?
Oh, Jared.
Two questions. How has vocal and performing arts changed in the last year? And did anything exciting happen in Texas recently?
So the vocal arts program, like I said, right now we have the opportunity for all of our students to be able to participate at the elementary level. But the other thing we did is part of the Prop 28 monies had to be used for personnel. And so we've been able to bring in these artist educators who are not teachers, but they have the skills to be able to teach and choreograph or teach violin or specifically strings or something like that, that we have these professional experts that now are in place that are just advancing the level of talent of our students. When you see our programs, I think it's obvious. Like just looking at it year after year, the talent level has increased as a result of our Prop 28 funds. And then one of the other things we focus on heavily is our CTE programs. And we had, last year we had one car, the previous year we had one solar car that was built by students, and they raced in Texas, and they took second place. This last year, we ambitiously took on another solar car that was a four-seater. And that four-seater annihilated the competition in Texas, took first place in Texas. Our classic car, the solar one, took second again in Texas. But this is something that obviously we require the support of our parents on, but it is not a program that is in very many schools, public schools for that matter. And the fact that we have two solar cars that were competed in Texas and did well is a testament to the direction of the board and the focus of our families and students.
Now from the second.
Jerry took my question here about solar farm. I was going to drop that in.
How can like that solar park program? How much industry support do you have, or is it completely student and faculty driven?
So it is student driven. There's support.
No pun intended.
There is support from parent volunteers, really to guide students. We have industry that supports our students. A lot of this is done through donation as well from businesses within the community, surrounding community. But I will say, and partly because Tammy's here as well, my goal is to really move this into a direction where we partner with PCC as an opportunity for PCC to attach their name to our solar car project, but also to be able to give our kids dual enrollment as part of this process, so that they receive college credits while they're doing this program. And then it can be a costly program, so the sustainability piece of it, in working with PCC, it would be easier for us to sustain that program going forward. So that's my goal moving forward.
Is that solar? How big is that solar car? I'm gonna go down the solar car map for a minute. How big is it? A real car? Or is it
It's a real car. It's set for kids.
Is it in like lights on Temple City? Like when do we see it? Is
Oh,
it
you
in-
will see that one in.
It was in the Chameleon Parade.
It was.
The classic one. What did we have? We didn't have
The four-seater wasn't, but the classic was.
Yeah.
But probably this year we can have both of them.
And you might have seen me driving the new one on Kaufman.
Yeah. This seems like something we should be talking about more. Yeah. Oh my gosh, interesting. Well, unrelated to solar cars, any other questions? Enrollment. I just had to step out for a minute, but enrollment up or down? Static.
Enrollment, it looks like it's going to be up again.
Wow. It's not the case in all communities.
No.
Very interesting.
Do you want to mention what's happening at Longdon?
That William's interested in.
This year we also are introducing our dual immersion Mandarin program at Longdon. So our kindergarten students at Longdon are going to be the first class in the dual language class. Hopefully this is something that we will continue to grow as well. Another thing I want to say is an inaugural for this year is we have a girls flag football team that is starting out this year. We had a lot of interest from our girls. We had 38 kids who wanted to be part of this team, but that's basically because we have the new stadium. We're able to accommodate additional sport, and I'm excited to see our girls out there for flag.
You alluded to kind of these other improvements that the school district might want to undertake, which I presume school sites or facilities.
Yes.
Do you have a rough idea of what that encompasses?
So one of the things we're going to have to do is we still have some aging buildings, particularly at Oak and the high school, that need to be modernized. My focus is really going to be, we have a good science program and interest in the sciences, but what we need to do is create some interest in the health sciences at our schools, because if you've heard just recently, there are fewer and fewer people wanting to become doctors. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world that there are no doctors, especially as I get closer to retirement. So we need to do a better job of making sure that our students have a pathway into the medical and health sciences. The other thing is we have a strong performing arts. We have a lot of interest from the community to see us be able to provide spaces in the performing arts. There's common spaces that we need to renovate, whether that be spaces on our playgrounds or in our kitchens or our cafeterias or our media centers that need to be up to date. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Libraries are very prevalent at the elementary level, but they're not as prevalent at the secondary level. So how do we accommodate the needs of our students at the secondary by utilizing the spaces that we have available to us? So those are just a few of the things that we have to start thinking about going forward. Oh, and expanding our CTE programs. Yes, that's another one.
How are you guys dealing with AI, especially in the secondary classroom? Are there policies that you're implementing, or?
So AI, it depends on who you ask, right? Our students love AI, obviously. Some of our teachers embrace AI, some of them do not. It depends on sometimes how long you've been teaching. But we're having to adapt how we interface with AI. AI is a powerful tool for our students. It is something that we need to teach them because the world they're entering is using AI. But we need to teach them how to use it in a safe way, and also in a way that does not detract from learning. And so sometimes that is, instead of sending homework assignments home to work on, you're going to have to start completing those assignments in the classroom so that the teacher actually knows what you're capable of doing, as opposed to having AI generate a response for you. But AI will continue to be a challenge for some, but for us, we understand that it is the future. And quite honestly, the present.
Any last questions before we have more one-on-one conversation?
She has a picture of the electric car. If you want to.
I will come take a look at it. I will.
And if you go to our Instagram, Temple City Unified, there's lots of solar car content. If you're interested in seeing it in action, yes.
So with that, can we give a round of applause to our superintendent? These are some camellia seeds to plant in a small pot. Proposing it. Jerry's taking a picture. Let's look at Jerry first and then everybody else. All right, now let's look at Chloe.
One for me, I'm missing.
And she's going to get right in the middle.
That was not kind of angled it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Before we leave, I know I have some announcements that I did not bring with me, so I'm going to try to do it from memory for Temple City. Temple City, we have two committees. You heard about our Pathways Committee. If you're not actively involved and would like to get more involved, please let us know. You can see Emily. She's the one that coordinates that. They meet monthly, and they've got a lot of plans that are, again, the refinement of the program is great, and I think that we even heard some things today that might be able to be added to that conversation. And then we also, unrelated to the students directly, is the Home Improvement and Real Estate Committee, of which Jimmy is co-chair, but also Emily could support you in. And that is working and continuing to support homeowners and home ownership by getting people into the market here in Temple City, so there's more students, so we have more successful school district as well. So that's another committee that we run. Last I'll say is that the last 2 months we have had our monthly Summer Night Bites program, and if you haven't been there, this is a program that is designed to get people into the community, connected with each other, and discovering hopefully some new restaurants that they can make their new favorites, while at the same time supporting our schools through our partnership with the PTAs. And so our last version for 2025, or segment, if you will, is August 14th, and it's going to be at the unnamed plaza. It's not the Teapot Plaza on the east side of Rosemead at Las Tunas. So please join us there for our last event of the season. We've had over 150 people come out so far. It's just great, and it's great to see families and students and PTAs come together, and like we're getting to know people. We're getting to know neighbors in a way that we don't always get to when we meet our business partners. So please join us, and thank you all of those who's been. Becky's been at everyone. Councilmember Chavez has been there. Brian has been there at everyone. William, did you come just to this?
That was the last one? Yeah.
Last one. So anyway, it's great program. Please, it's really cheap tickets, and again, we pay the restaurants. They're not donating. That way, we're supporting the economy, and we donate. So it's not really a moneymaker. It's just trying to get people moving. So please join us if you haven't yet. On the 14th, you can go online at the website and reserve there. Is there any other announcement I forgot? That's it right now. That's where we are. Thank you so much for being here, and please be cool the rest of this weekend, and don't have to leave. And thanks a lot. See you next time. Oh, next month we'll be here. 29th. I think it's the 29th. We'll be back. So save the date. See you then.